Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sharon, and this is Classy Shades Designs. Scrolling the ZGallerie website, I found these two items and I thought, I wonder if I can recreate these looks. One was $38 and the other was $46.99 on sale. So using these little boxes that came from the Dollar Tree, I took them apart and thought I could use these parts for one of the projects. I sanded down the edges to get rid of all of the rough edges so that of course I wouldn't get a splinter in my hand, and I began creating my octagon to create the first project. I decided to use some tape before completely gluing it together just so that I could make sure I had everything sitting the way that it needed to be, because this would have to be an octagon, which meant that it couldn't be up and down. It had to have just the right slant to it. And as you could see, it took me a couple of tries, but I did it in two sets. I did 1 and 3, the first in 3 and the second in 3. Then taking one of the Dollar Tree napkin rings, I drew a circle inside because as you saw in our little inspiring piece, that it has a spot for a flower to go down in. I picked up these little wood carving tools from the Dollar Tree, and I decided that I would use these to wedge out the circle or the hole that I needed with my hammer. Once I had that the circle wedged out, I then used the sandpaper again to sand down any of the rough edges. And this took me a little bit of time, but it actually worked. And then I took another Dollar Tree ring and hot glued it to the top of my octagon. Yeah, octagon. Okay. So here's where I started having trouble, because as you will see, remember the our inspiration piece had a clear glass inside of it. I looked everywhere to try to find glass so that I could actually put inside of the vase, but I was unsuccessful. So I thought I'd take one of the Dollar Tree cutting mats and cut it down and use it, circle it to use it with hot glue to try to get it to become a place where we could put our flower in. That didn't work, so I then ran out to Joann Fabrics and I ran across these bubble makers, and I thought, well, I'll try that, because as you can see here, the hot glue on this cutting board, it kept coming apart, which only makes sense because I use these when I'm working with hot glue or epoxy, so of course it would naturally peel off. So I decided to use the bubble maker, and while I was at Joann's, I picked up this gold paint. Now, I was going to use this gold paint here from Deco Art, but I decided that I would try this treasure gold because it said that it would give it a really authentic gold look. Because the bubble maker came in blue, I painted it white and I put some glitter over that paint so that it would give me a little sparkle within this project, because of course, you know, I couldn't come up with clear glass. But this is how the project turned out. So tell me what you think about it. Leave me a comment down below. Is this something you think you could try? All right, so on to project number 2. Using one of these Word Dollar Tree picture frames, I tried to remove the glass because I wanted to use the glass for this project, but it broke on me. So I had to go to the 8x10 picture frame and painted it white. I also created these tic-tac-toe boards using a silicone mold that I ordered off of Amazon and some epoxy. I'll leave a link for that down below where you can make it, put some alcohol ink in the epoxy to color it and use it that way. I'm going to take one of these chopping boards again and cut it down to size so that I can make the backing for my tic-tac-toe board. So using some gold Oracle 651 vinyl, I covered up that piece of chopping board that I cut out to give it a colorful backing. So if you're enjoying any of the content, I'm going to ask for you to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below if you think this is something you would be interested in making. I also used my Cricut to cut out some leopard prints so that we could put the little spots onto the gold paper that we just utilized. I had so much fun coming up with different ways to make this that it was really neat. Once the cheetah print was, I keep saying cheetah, but it's leopard. Once the leopard print was on our little backing piece, now it's time to glue everything together. If you're not currently subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you see the things that we create, so please subscribe. I put Oracle 651 black over the picture glass that came with this 8x10 frame, and then I glued that down, and also glued the small little 4x4 frame that I broke the glass in. I thought, well, we could use this in a different way to create the look but make it a little bit different. So I glued everything together, including gluing on our tic-tac-toe board to create our final look. And this is how the overall project turned out. I'm pleased with it. It's so fun. The mold that I told you about provides the X and the O's where you can make those in the mold as well. I think it's fun, you guys. What do you think? Leave me a comment down below. It looks like our inspiration piece, doesn't it? So here are the two projects together side by side. Overall, they would have cost $100, but it took us just under 15 bucks to make these.